And also I'm going to be pointing out some of the things on the screen. You have already came to this website, so this is our website, and from there we are going to navigate into other things. So as we open up our benefits guide, we're going to see some very important things. And if you would, just make sure you don't just glance, actually read through, because there's some very important things in here. I'm going to touch on the things that I think that you really need to know, as well as things that will help you pick the benefits you want and navigate through. You will see on your benefits guide benefits for you and your family. Basically, we're going to talk about medical, dental, vision insurance, basic life and accidental death and dismemberment insurance. We have a flexible spending account and a daycare account, and those are the ones that are more employer sponsored. Then we're going to go down into the voluntary benefits and talk about voluntary term life, short-term disability insurance, critical illness insurance with a cancer rider. Those are the benefits that you can elect to pay for if you would like to do that out of your paycheck. So who is eligible for benefits? Mainly full-time managers who work an average of 32 hours per week. You're eligible for benefits first of the month following 3 months of employment. So after you work for 3 months, the first of the month after that, you're eligible for benefits. When do you enroll? Well, you enroll through the self-service website, which we'll talk about in a moment. You enroll when you are eligible for benefits. So you could be at open enrollment, which we're going to talk about the factors of open enrollment, but also you could be a new hire on your eligibility date first of the month after 3 months. Let's go over some frequently asked questions. Of course, you may have more questions than this, but what we find is these are the main questions that get asked. So we post them up here on your benefits guide. Things like, how much will premiums increase this year? None. So Sunflower Farmers Market decided to absorb the increase, and there is no increase to you as an employee. So that's good news. Can I change my benefit coverage at any time? What is a qualifying event? Following a qualifying event, how much time do I have in order to submit a request for change of coverage? Very important things. How long is my child eligible to stay on my insurance? What do I need to do if my address changes? When will I receive my identification cards? These are the main questions. We're going to go over qualifying events in detail, so we'll touch on that a little bit later. This is a how long was my child eligible to stay on my insurance? This is a healthcare reform law that just took place, and you may or may not be aware, if you have a dependent child age 26 or under, they are eligible to come on your benefits, and they don't need to be a full-time student anymore. So it's very important that you know that's a federal healthcare reform law that just took place. So regardless of whether they're a full-time student or any type of financial status, they can come on to age 26 or under. What do I need to do to change my address? In order to ensure that you continue receiving important documents and protect your privacy by mail, please contact your office manager to do that. When will you receive your identification cards? Generally, you'll receive your medical ID cards in the mail within 3 weeks of the date of your coverage takes place. Be sure to immediately check for your cards to ensure the information is correct. Dental ID cards are distributed by your office manager, so the medical ID cards will come to your home and the dental ID cards will come to you via your office manager. So those are mainly the frequently asked questions. I know we did not touch as much on the qualifying events, but I have a method to instruct you what open enrollment is here. Going back to my initial 2 goals. Goal number 1 is to explain to you what open enrollment is. This is open enrollment right here, this video, but also new hires throughout the year will be viewing this video as well. Open enrollment is on September 1st of 2011, and it will go through August 31st of 2012. Next year we'll start a whole new open enrollment on September 1st of 2012, and we may have benefit changes, but that is the time when benefit changes will occur. This year we've had hardly any benefit changes. So open enrollment is for 9/1. 9/1 is your date to make any changes you want. As an employee that has been on the plan before, you will come in and elect to maybe change benefits, and you could do that on open enrollment on September 1st. So you can, what is a change? You can add your spouse to the plan. You can add your child to the plan. You could take your spouse off the plan. You could take your child off the plan. Those are changes that can happen at open enrollment for no questions asked. Now, let's say open enrollment passes, you signed up for the benefits, and let's say in November you want to make changes. That is when the qualifying events, and that's what we are starting to talk about here for qualifying events. If it's not on an open enrollment on September 1st of 2011, then you will need a qualifying event. And these are what is a qualifying event? Marriage, divorce, birth of a child or adoption, loss of coverage through your spouse's plan, or gaining coverage. If your spouse gains coverage, they can come on or off the coverage. So what about financial, or if your spouse has a medical condition? Those are not qualifying events. And that's what I really like to try to avoid. Very important, if on November, if your spouse contracts a medical condition and you call and say, well, I need to add my spouse to the plan now, we have to be the bearer of bad news and ask, is there a qualifying event? If there is a qualifying event, let's say your spouse lost their position, for example, their job, or maybe didn't even lose their job,